So in this particular tutorial, we are going to be looking at the Python data types. All right. Of course, in all programming languages, they have their different data types. Programming is all about controlling data, working with data, creating, deleting, manipulating, all those stuff. All right. So for us to be able to work with Python data types, we need to understand how Python understands and work with all these data types. So we have so many of them, but we are going to be looking at some of the built-in data types we have in Python. And the first one we'll be looking at is the one we call the numeric data types, which includes the integer, the float, and the complex. Now, integer, all ints, we use int to specify that this particular data is a number, is a numeric value, which is a whole number. Integers are whole numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and whatever value that you may have, that is an integer. But a float is a mixture of fractions. So something like having 0.2, 0.5, 0.75, all those ones are called floats. They are found in the decimal values or fractions. While the complex is a mixed fraction where you have a whole number and a fraction or a decimal. So when you combine it, it becomes complex. Then we also have the data type string. And the data type string, we use str for string casting. So strings are alphanumerical data, values that are alphanumerical. It can be A, B, C, D to Z. It can be your name. It can be a sentence. It can also be numbers which are found in quotes. So when you wrap numbers in quotes, it becomes a string. When you wrap one of the key functions here is that when you are working with a number, you don't wrap it in quotations. But when you are working with strings, you wrap them in quotation. So if you are typing your name, just like we did in Hello World, we wrapped it in quotes, either single quotes or double quotes. So that is string. But when you are working with numbers, because you may want to perform some mathematical operations within the numbers, so we normally don't wrap it in quotes. So Python automatically detects that this is an integer or this is a numerical data and then decides on how to work with it. Then we also have what we call the sequence data type, which includes the list, the tuple, the range. All right. So we're going to be looking at some of these things. So sometimes you may want to have so many values in a particular variable. So in that case, sometimes you may use dictionary, sometimes you may use list, you may use tuple, and so on. We'll be looking at that later on. So sequence data types are list, tuples, and range. Then we have the binary data types, which are the bytes, the bit arrays, the memory view, where you try to identify the memory location of any variable or data. Then you have the mapping data types, which is the dictionary, which I've mentioned here. We'll be using dictionaries a lot in this Python programming language. Then we also have the Boolean type, which includes the true or false values. So we use it to perform some logical operations, like if you want to, if you have some two values that you want to give true or false. So we'll be working with it as well later on. Then we have the set data types, which are the set or the frozen set. We'll be looking at all these things later on. So if you want to see more or reference on this particular tutorial, I'll post the link to this Digital Ocean training link, training website. So you can go there and you can read more about Python data types.